gamers. I don't know. If Bada says it, I'll believe it, but I don't think we're going to see carriers in PvP anytime soon. I'll just put it that way. Whew. Well, hey, I'm in the lobby. Let's get it going. Game number 2, Casper versus TerrOr on Crossing Field.
TT1 Pro Goku Ultra, my man.
All right, here we go. In the left-hand side, in the magenta, as Terran from Peru, it's TerrOr.
And his opponent in the bottom right as the teal Terran, hailing from Russia, is Casper. So finally we're in familiar territory, as far as I'm concerned, because it's TVT. This is the king of all matchups.
Every Terran player says that.
The one I've been looking forward to the most for today. Well, unless these two actually meet in the final match again for a best of 3, that would be the cherry on top that I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
Well, at least for now, I don't think that we're gonna see too many stylistic differences. I mean, the one thing that TerrOr does do is, you know, he pushes maybe faster. He's one of the weird things I saw at Corrupted Cup, where TerrOr got 2nd place, by the way, is that a lot of Terrans were doing these like super fast vulture pushes, where the only difference between your army and your opponent's army is that you've got 2 vultures and they've got 1, or you've got 3 and they've got 2. Somehow that makes you win. So I don't know if he's going to go for anything like crazy aggressive either. And certainly we're not going to see any 14 CCs or anything stupid like that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of these openings where you can go for like a 2-fact expansion and you get 2 tanks, you get speed for your vultures at the same time, and then just keep pumping out vultures and send them across the map and hope to break your opponent. So this is quite common. But on a map like this, if this gets held on, you're stuck with vulture speed and maybe mines, depending on how long it took. And you're playing on a map where taking positions is key. And if your opponent held with tanks, held with, well, probably not Goliath just yet, but if your push gets pushed back, you're likely to lose a crucial position. And on a map like this, you can't really afford to do that, because if it were a 4-player map, you can kind of play around losing a position in the early game, because there are so many options on most maps. You can kind of give away an early game map presence, right? But on a map like this, it's not really something you can afford to do. Mm-hmm. So I don't really expect to see a 2nd factory and, you know, like vulture speed pushes or anything, but like players to go for quick starports, go for those Goliaths, go for siege as soon as possible, and take control of these 2 ridges, because they're key locations on this particular map. Those 2 ridges that you have outside the natural/third, depending on how you want to refer to them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's see what the response to this expo is going to be. TerrOr is 1 base in it for now. Is he actually going to kill that SCV? No. I thought he had it, but never mind. Factory completes, vulture on the way. And on the other side of the map, we don't even have a factory. It's 200 health in.
Yeah, already a bit of divergence here in terms of builds. So Casper went for that barracks expansion here on the right side of the map, so he's got access to a 2nd command center much earlier than his opponent. But even though TerrOr does have this vulture, it's going to be much more difficult for him to make use of it in the early game here, because he needs to go up a ramp. And even though vultures are pretty good and they 2-shot marines, you can kind of hold until your own vulture comes out. So we'll just have to wait and see if he's lucky, right? If this high ground comes into play. Don't forget, this SCV is still in the main base of Casper, and he can't really afford to chase it right now, because he knows that there's a vulture coming. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's giving himself vision here as well. So 1 marine falls, and yeah, the vulture gets pushed back. He doesn't necessarily have to worry about any pressure here.
Oh, wow, he actually loses the vulture. What?
Yeah.
That's uncharacteristic.
That shouldn't have happened,
Yeah. I mean, there is a 2nd vulture, so he can definitely power up just 2 marines. But obviously,
he needs to watch out, because he might lose it again. Yeah, if Casper's
Oh,
micro
no.
here is good, yeah, this vulture's dead. It's as good as dead. And
Wow, that's pretty bad.
massive mistakes from TerrOr. Massive, absolutely
Yeah.
massive. Like
I mean,
losing
if you turn
two
the
vultures.
nameplates off, I definitely expect that to be Grind Boss or Casper, whatever you want to call him. But it's actually TerrOr who's kind of messing up so far.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going for a build like this, right, where you're investing in a very quick factory and you know your opponent has got the eco advantage because he went for a command center, you absolutely can't afford to lose your initial vulture, let alone two, right? And so he's going for a build that I wasn't expecting. He's going for two factories, he's going for mines, whereas Casper, he's going for a start. He's ready to go his starport up. He's going for vultures of his own. He's actually going for a quick third command center, which is massive in a TVT. I am wondering if he's going to be able to hold it because there's two factories worth of vultures coming out.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's going to be close. Mines are only halfway done for Casper, so that just makes it even more difficult. Obviously, vultures don't set them off. These Marines could be working against him.
I mean, TerrOr is going for speed on his vultures, and this is two factory vulture production against one factory. So as soon as this speed finishes, he just needs to rally those two vultures from the main. There we go. If Casper moves out a bit too far, he might be caught off guard and just lose everything. But he needs to hold out for the next like 200 HP on the command center.
Oh no! This Mind Drag is going to be insane if these Marines move out. Anyway.
Oh no, the vulture's getting caught by TerrOr.
Oh god, this is even worse.
Yeah, now the speed kicks in, and this it's not going to be like. Oh, it actually might be lights out.
No, this is actually it.
Yeah.
Like you can't block the ramp for long enough. Like,
I mean,
oh no, there's a what's that in the sky? It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's actually a paper airplane. Wow, man. Okay, so here's the build order, guys. You got your notebooks out. So you expo late. You build two vultures, lose them both, and then you win the game.
Yeah, I don't think TerrOr, like Casper obviously wasn't expecting this follow-up because he wouldn't have taken that third if that was the case, right? Because this is a massive blunder from the Terran player from Russia. He's already lost like more than 10 SCDs. He's down to 23 when TerrOr is on 36. He's on 3 factories. He's getting his Goliaths up. If he starts his +1, he's got enough money for another base of his own as well. So this is a terrible situation for Casper to play from. And yeah, I don't see him coming back. Because this is a massive advantage in a mirror matchup. You're 15 workers up. You're 1 factory ahead. You're going for tanks. You're going for Goliaths. Does he have siege? He might. He's getting Goliath range.
Yeah.
And he's got map control as well. He's got mines planted in your third. Or at your third. So, how do you rate this? How do you rate this?
Well, I would say that TerrOr is has what we like to call in the professional casting world an advantage.
That's what it's called then.
Just throwing it out there, you know. There's a lot of different words for it.
Let me jot it down. Let me jot it down for future reference.
Yeah, advantage. I don't know what else to say. Well, at least for right now, it feels like this game may not go on very much longer.
I mean, it's going to take him a while to break up this ramp. Let's face it, this is a very narrow ramp. There's a couple of wraiths here, there's mines planted here as well, and if tanks start popping out, it might take TerrOr a bit of time to actually break up and kill Casper, but it feels like the game might have already ended. Even though it hasn't been closed out, there's very little that Casper is going to be able to do here. TerrOr is sending out SCVs out. He's going to start planting a turret ring wherever he can to prevent any drops leaving the base. Well, speaking of the devil, we've got one.
Yeah. Well, even if this drop does massive damage, I'd still say that TerrOr has a big advantage. Also, he loaded up right over mines. So, like, did he forget those mines were in his base? He loaded them up, just saw everything. So
yeah, TerrOr is getting ready for a drop, and those vultures are now going to come into the natural because he obviously unloaded them. But yeah, there's sufficient defense here. these vultures would have to do miraculous amounts of damage for Casper to even consider staying in this game. But you know, you don't get to play in the BSL every day, and he's going to do his best to try and hold out. But as I said, TerrOr is now planting a turret ring around the third base here. Obviously, you can't build on the ridge here, so I suspect he's going to plant a couple of Goliaths here, just to make sure that these drops don't leave Casper's base. But yeah, it's hard to find anything meaningful to say about a game that has literally, well, not literally, but figuratively, ended.
Yeah, I think we see quite a few of these games, at least today, where the game is essentially over, but for some reason it keeps going. I mean, back nationals will do this to you, like they allow games that are over because you can't take your national to go on. But for all intents and purposes, unless one of these drops gets out of hand, which I doubt is going to happen. There's a missile turret built over the path of the dropship. That's just a little funny to me. TerrOr's he has an advantage. What is that in Polish? It's korzyść.
What? An advantage? Przewaga?
Oh yeah, that one too. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to get to this place, especially after the way TerrOr started. But now that he's here, it's like, well, wrap it up, kids.
Well, he might actually be able to take another base at the bottom here, because he's cleared out the turrets. Yeah, he's cleared out the turrets. He's got 2 dropships moving in, so he's going to take a different approach to playing a TVT. Obviously, this might be the only.
He hasn't cleared out the turret at the base he's taking.
Oh, it's just one turret. It's not. It's inconsequential here.
Oh yeah, it's consequentially going to see that this base is being taken. Well, no, you're kind of right in the sense that he will be able to take this base, but on the other hand, I mean, TerrOr could also, single, double expo, do whatever he wants. He's got insane infrastructure. His upgrades are about to finish, and that's the scary thing, that he's about to have this +1 on his siege tanks. It's not +2, so it's not the biggest break point, but it's still going to be pretty significant. He actually dealt like half damage to this command center with a missile turret as it floated over.
Yeah, I mean, Casper is trying to do the best he can with the cards he's been dealt, right? But, I mean, if you just look at the numbers, I know this can be a bit deceiving because in TVT numbers are not everything, right? Because tanks are ridiculously strong in this matchup, or in any matchup. But the point is, it's very hard to break siege lines, and even though numbers might be deceptive, this game might have actually just got out of hand to the point where, tanks with +2 might not save the day, let alone tanks with no upgrades. Now we've got we've got raids coming in with Cloak as well, clearing out the mines. He's even pulled a couple of SCVs to maybe tank the damage here. Yeah, there we go. So he's going to push in, try and go for the closer here at the third base of the Russian Terran.
Some hot Wraith on Wraith action to finish the series off, but in the end, none of that really matters. So we steamroll through everything, push the dropships away. It's triple dropships. And they actually are able to evacuate the 5 SCVs that were mining there. It's not going to be able to save the command center, so this base is done for.
This base is toast. Yeah,
yes, it is.
This SCV pull, man, it felt like a StarCraft 2 TVP, like any StarCraft 2 TVP from 2013 to 2015. But yeah, thank God it happened, because it might have shortened our torment here as TerrOr tries to close out the game with Casper desperately trying to break down the ramp, but it's just not gonna cut it.
That's gonna do it. GG. Casper taps out and TerrOr advances on to the winners match. Wow, what a game. The first 2 minutes of that game, or 3, when did he lose the first vulture? Anyway, the first few minutes of that game were way different than the last few minutes of that game. I saw TerrOr lose those 2 vultures. I'm like, wait a second.
I mean, the game looked really promising on paper, right? We've got like one of the best foreign Terrans from South America against one of the best foreign Terrans from Europe going head to head. And then for one to make a massive mistake like losing 2 vultures when you're going for a factory expansion, when your opponent has gone for a racks expansion, into the other throwing the other way around. I mean, it's just a bit underwhelming, right? I mean, these things happen, of course. StarCraft is a difficult game.